less than 2 weeks before the election. Undoubtedly, people had already gathered in the Union Hall to listen to the speakers scheduled before me, and there were young volunteers setting up a town hall in Erie, and, as the King of Siam said in the musical, etc., etc., etc. My lump would have to wait. The ordinary day would go on as scheduled. Except for one thing. Today, I planned to go shopping. The previous evening, I had spotted an outlet mall on our way to the hotel. We had spent the night in a Radisson, a fact I discovered that morning when I read the soap in the bathroom. Since I started campaigning, it had been a different hotel in a different city each night. We would arrive late, traveling after it was too late to campaign, and we would enter and exit most hotels through the same back door used to take out the trash. Unless the trash dumpster bore the name of the hotel, I'd figure out where we were only if I remembered to look at the soap in the bathroom. As soon as we spotted the outlets, Hargrave, Karen Finney, my press secretary, and I started calculating. The stores would open at 10, and it was a 10-minute drive to the UAW hall. That left about 45 minutes to shop. It wasn't a lot of time, but for 3 women who hadn't been shopping in months, it was a gracious plenty. Despite the lump, and everything it might mean, I had no intention of changing our plan. We had all been looking forward to the unprecedented time devoted to something as mindless, frivolous, and selfish as shopping. The clothes I had in my suitcase that day were basically the same ones I had packed when I left Washington in early July, and it was now nearing November in Wisconsin. It was cold, I was sick of my clothes, and to be honest, I wasn't particularly concerned about the lump. This had happened before, about 10 years earlier. I had found what turned out to be a harmless fibrous cyst. I had it removed, and there were no problems. Granted, this lump was clearly larger than the other, but as I felt its smooth contour, I was convinced this had to be another cyst. I wasn't going to allow myself to think it could be anything else. In the back seat of the Suburban, I told Hargrave how to reach Wells Edmondson, my doctor in Raleigh. With the phone pressed to her ear, she asked me for the details. No, the skin on my breast wasn't puckered. Yes, I had found a small lump before. At the Dana Buckman outlet, I looked through the blazers as Hargrave stood nearby, still on the phone to Wells. I spotted a terrific red jacket, and I waved to Hargrave for her opinion. The lump was really pretty big, she said into the phone while giving me the thumbs up on the blazer. There we were, 2 women, surrounded by men with earpieces, whispering about lumps and flipping through the sales rack. The saleswomen huddled, their eyes darting from the Secret Service agents to the few customers in the store. Then they huddled again. Neither of us looked like someone who warranted special protection. Certainly not me, flipping through the racks at manic speed, watching the clock tick toward 10:30. Whatever worry I had felt earlier, Hargrave had taken on. She had made the phone call, she had heard the urgent voices on the other end. She would worry, and she would let me be the naive optimist. And I was grateful for that. She hung up the phone. "Are you sure you want to keep going?" she asked me, pointing out that our schedule during the remaining 11 days until the election entailed stops in 35 cities. It could be exhausting. Stopping wasn't going to make the lump go away, and exhaustion was a word I had long ago banished from my vocabulary. "I'm fine," I said, "and I'm getting this red blazer." "You're braver than I am," she told me. "From now on, I will always think of that blazer as the courage jacket." Within minutes, she was back on the phone with Kathleen McGlynn, our scheduler in D.C., who could make even impossible schedules work, telling her only that we needed some free time the next Friday for a private appointment. While I bought a suit and that red jacket, Hargrave set up an appointment with Dr. Edmondson for the next week when we were scheduled to return to Raleigh. Through the phone calls, and despite her worry, she still found a pale pink jacket that suited her gentle nature perfectly. All the plans to deal with the lump were made, and the appointments were days away. I wanted to push it all aside, and thanks to Hargrave and the 35 cities in my near future, I could. We gathered Karen and headed out for that ordinary day. The town hall